Conquer yourself rather than the world. I doubt, therefore I think, therefore I am. The greatest minds are capable of the greatest vices as well as of the greatest virtues. Whenever anyone has offended me, I try to raise my soul so high that the offense cannot reach it. To live without philosophizing is in truth the same as keeping the eyes closed without attempting to open them. An optimist may see a light where there is none, but why must the pessimist always run to blow it out? The reading of all good books is like conversation with the finest men of past centuries. We do not describe the world we see the world we can describe. A state is better governed which has few laws, and those laws strictly observed. There is nothing so strange and so unbelievable that it has not been said by one philosopher or another. It is not enough to have a good mind, the main thing is to use it well. Truths will be discovered by an individual rather than a whole people. I am accustomed to sleep, and in my dreams to imagine the same things that lunatics imagine when awake. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. It is only prudent never to place complete confidence in that by which we have even once been deceived. Doubt is the origin of wisdom. The only thing that I know is that I know nothing. Because reason is the only thing that makes us men and distinguishes us from the beasts, I would prefer to believe that it exists, in its entirety, in each of us. I am indeed amazed when I consider how weak my mind is and how prone to error. Each problem that I solved became a rule, which served afterward to solve other problems. I know that I exist, the question is, what is this that I know? Perfect numbers like perfect men are very rare. Control your body if you want your mind to work properly. Except our own thoughts, there is nothing absolutely in our power. Our convictions result from custom and example very much more than from any knowledge that is certain. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. I hope that posterity will judge me kindly, not only as to the things which I have explained, but also to those which I have intentionally omitted so as to leave to others the pleasure of discovery. The chief cause of human errors is to be found in the prejudices picked up in childhood. Common sense is the most fairly distributed thing in the world, for each one thinks he is so well endowed with it that even those who are hardest to satisfy in all other matters are not in the habit of desiring more of it than they already have. The thinking of the mind is twofold, understanding and willing. Illusory joy is often worth more than genuine sorrow. Wonder is the first of all the passions. If you want to develop your mind, you should think more, not repeat. To know what people really think, pay regard to what they do, rather than what they say. When it is not in our power to follow what is true, we ought to follow what is most probable. The two operations of our understanding, intuition, and deduction, on which alone we have said we must rely on the acquisition of knowledge. Like a prisoner who dreams that he is free, starts to suspect that it is merely a dream, and wants to go on dreaming rather than waking up, so I am content to slide back into my old opinions. I fear being shaken out of them because I am afraid that my peaceful sleep may be followed by hard labor when I wake, and that I shall have to struggle not in the light, but in the imprisoning darkness of the problems I have raised. You just keep pushing. You just keep pushing. I made every mistake that could be made. But I just kept pushing. Any community that gets its laughs by pretending to be idiots will eventually be flooded by actual idiots who mistakenly believe that they are in good company. I desire to live in peace and to continue the life I have begun under the motto, to live well you must live unseen. It is in the nature of our mind to construct general propositions on the basis of our knowledge of particular ones. At last I will devote myself sincerely and without reservation to the general demolition of my opinions. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. And the selfsame well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. In order to improve the mind, we ought less to learn than to contemplate. My third maxim was to try always to conquer myself rather than fortune, and to change my desires rather than the order of the world, and generally to accustom myself to believing that there is nothing entirely in our power except our thoughts, so that after we have done our best regarding things external to us, everything in which we do not succeed is for us absolutely impossible. He who hid well, lived well. Nothing comes out of nothing. Everything is self-evident. All is to be doubted. Masked, I advance.